From First Alert 4, this is a breaking news alert.
We start here at 10 with breaking news out of the nation's capital. According to reports, there are multiple fatalities after a regional jet collided with a military helicopter tonight.
Yeah, the plane was just moments from touching down at Reagan National Airport. Here in just the last few minutes, we've learned the military aircraft came out of an Army post in Virginia. There were 3 crew members on board of that helicopter. That plane went down right into the river, right into the Potomac. It runs right along the airport property there in D.C. We know the flight originated in Wichita, Kansas. Officials say all flights are now grounded at Reagan tonight and rescue operations are underway. Let's get you a live look at this scene. You can see a massive response there from emergency crews as they are working both on the side, outside of the river and in the river to try and find passengers. We want to get to our Morgan Harris, who's showing us the moment that this collision happened. She also has more on the responses coming from across the country.
Yeah, Sam, good evening. This is a story that is developing by the minute. Here's what we know so far. The passenger plane was carrying several dozen people. Now rescue operations, like you said, are underway in the Potomac River. We do have video of when the plane and helicopter collided. We do want to warn you, you may find these images disturbing. Now in this video, you can see a bright flash and what appears to be smoke. American Airlines Flight 5342 departed from Wichita, Kansas around 9 p.m. local time. It collided mid-air with a Sikorsky H-60 helicopter that's commonly known as a Black Hawk while it was approaching the runway. According to American Airlines, there were 60 passengers on board and 4 crew members. We do know that 3 crew members were on board the helicopter coming out of Fort Belvoir. That's an Army post in Virginia. A multi-agency search and rescue effort is now underway in the Potomac River. DC Fire and EMS confirmed the aircraft is down in the river and fire boats are on the scene. The FAA and the National Transportation Safety Board are leading the investigation. Multiple sources and an Army official told CBS an Army Black Hawk was involved in the collision. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says President Trump has been made aware of the situation. The FBI told CBS News that as of now, the incident is not being treated as a criminal event. CBS correspondent Chris Van Cleve noted how rare these crashes have become in recent years.
We're talking about a commercial airline crash. This is something that we've not talked about in the United States since a regional flight in Buffalo in 2009. This was an unparalleled period of aviation safety that appears to have come to an end.
No flights were coming into or leaving D.C. that were headed into Lambert International. Newly confirmed Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth wrote on social media that the Pentagon was actively monitoring the situation and poised to assist if needed. Sam and Corey.
All right, Morgan, thanks for the latest. Want to clarify the multiple fatalities, that coming from Senator Ted Cruz out of Texas. But we're going to continue to follow this breaking news story and bring you the latest later in this newscast. Morgan, thank you.
You really cannot decipher who is illegal and who isn't illegal. You cannot look at a person by the way that they dress or their skin tone or if they have an accent.
Immigration crackdowns happening nationwide, including in the Show Me state, where some state senators are looking to make being undocumented a felony. This latest bill bringing mixed reactions across the state.
And tonight, First Alert 4's Melanie Johnson following the developments from your lawmakers battling over unauthorized immigrants. Melanie.
Yeah, Sam McCord, this kind of legislation Missouri lawmakers were working on before the Trump administration. The reason some did not believe the federal government was doing enough about border security. Now, bounty hunters and possible felonies could come as a result for undocumented individuals if this passes.
This is absolutely an attack. We are being targeted.
Jessica Rivas Middleton is proud her mom and dad came from Mexico to St. Louis in the 1960s and 70s, wanting a better life.
When my family came, we literally occupied a whole block in the city of St. Louis.
A state Senate bill looks to threaten families like hers and make it illegal for undocumented immigrants to come to Missouri.
Why does anyone get to benefit from the work that we are putting, but then you want to put us out?
Bill 72, introduced by St. Louis County Senator David Gregory, says, quote, the offense of trespass by an illegal alien under this section is a felony for which the authorized term of imprisonment is life imprisonment.
We are going to ensure we're going to create our own kind of state ICE program.
The legislation goes on to include enlisting licensed bounty hunters and taking DNA samples from those captured.
This bill will make it a felony to be here in this state illegally. This bill will finally allow our police officers to arrest illegal immigrants.
It was sad that it was brought this way to the House.
Democrats in Jefferson City spoke out against the proposal Monday.
And we were very successful in hearing from both sides of citizens across the state. What we did hear is that the immigrants are a vital component to our community. They are working in our fields, they're working in our healthcare, they're working in our restaurants.
You cannot look at a person by the way that they dress or their skin tone or if they have an accent. If that were the case, so many of us would be in trouble. I would be in trouble.
Jessica tells me the legacy her Mexican heritage brought to St. Louis motivates her to keep fighting for others who want the same American dream she lives every day.
It saddens, my family because it's an injustice, and they want everyone to be able to live in peace.
Another Senate Bill 58 looks to include Missouri to assist with border security along the United States and Mexico border. There are plans for advocates to testify against these measures in Jefferson City come February. Melanie Johnson, First Alert 4.
All right, Melanie, thank you. Let's get a live look outside down Market Street in downtown St. Louis. Skies are calm tonight, but we are tracking more rain on the way.
And it could impact your morning drive. Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton is tracking the timing. Steve?
Yeah, that updated timing does show a chance for some rain coming from the south to the north up into St. Louis around or towards the end of the morning drive. You see it down here to the southwest right now. That's where it's coming from, but this is going to arrive by tomorrow morning. It's going to be a soggy day. Get the umbrellas ready. And even though the temperatures dropped down to 36 in St. Louis after a spectacular 58 for the high today, see all these temperatures down here in the mid-40s and 50s and 54 in Springfield? Along with the rain comes some of that warmer air, and the temperatures will actually go up a little bit as we head towards tomorrow morning. So here's the planner in the morning. 37 degrees at 6 a.m., about a 30% chance. Look how that rain chance just ramps up. I have it at 70% by 9 a.m. as the rain moves from the south to the north. And I'll walk you through that hour by hour in the Super Predictor, show you how much rain to expect. We'll also look ahead to some more mild temperatures when highs are in the mid-60s in my 10-day forecast.
All right, Steve, we'll see you in a bit. New tonight, a community group canvassing a North County neighborhood with support after 4-year-old Aubriana Mooks was shot and killed. Tonight, police are still working to figure out how this happened. They're also asking the public to speak up.
At the same time, a group called Show Me Peace is making sure the community in mourning has support. Our Morgan Harris shares their message.
My heart hurts when I think about the loss of a child. It's heartbreaking.
Walking side by side and knocking on doors. Show Me Peace, a violence intervention group, is letting their presence be known in the Castle Point community.
We're not here to judge any details or specifics of the situation, just that we can provide resources and that we are here as community to be a good neighbor.
Monday afternoon, police were called to Castle Drive. 4-year-old Aubriana Mooks was found shot. She was taken to the hospital where she later died. It's unclear if the shooting was intentional or accidental.
This isn't us just looking out. This is something many of us have experienced ourselves. So for us, we carry the weight because we feel it.
A weight that Jason Watson is familiar with. He says his son was shot in this same neighborhood. A year and a half later, he's working to remind people about the toll violence takes on communities.
It's just valuable to see the community is looking for this type of support, and the community is willing to partner in this type of support.
Show Me Peace spent Wednesday afternoon checking in on the neighborhood after this week's tragedy, offering condolences, money to pay for funeral services, and counseling. With mystery still swirling around this case, the group is trying to keep hope alive.
For us, it's really about recognizing that sometimes seeing people is enough hope in and of itself. So we're hoping, one, that presence could just let people know you're not alone.
Morgan Harris, First Alert 4.
And police are asking anyone with tips in this case to contact Crime Stoppers. The number's there on your screen. You can also find it on the First Alert 4 News app. A reminder that any tips can remain anonymous.
New tonight, a man is charged but not behind bars, accused of running a red light and crashing into another car, killing a 3-year-old girl. In April of last year, Zoe Gregory died after she was ejected from the car in that collision. This was at the intersection of Union and Bircher in North City. Now, months later, Orlando Brickley Sanford Jr. is charged with this, with second-degree involuntary manslaughter. Again, right now, he is not in custody. When this happened, police told us a 24-year-old driving a Dodge Charger went through a red light and hit the car Zoe was in.
State control over St. Louis City Police is still a focus in Jefferson City. Tonight, in a sit-down with Chief Robert Tracy, I asked him about the ongoing push for state control of his department and St. Charles County State Senator Nick Schroer questioning crime rates and the department's transparency.
If you want to have state control, let's do it on principle and merit. And everything they asked us to do for the last couple of years, we have met and we've made progress. Now you move the goalposts, and now you start saying we don't trust the crime numbers. I stand by those crime numbers. I'll ask that senator, come on in, take a look under the hood. But you know what? He hasn't taken me up on it, and he should be coming in to take a look at it. Because if you're going to exploit things that have been debunked and unfounded, talking about years past statistics, and use that, then you know what? You don't have a great argument.
Chief Robert Tracy also gave us new crime numbers. He says recent data shows in the last 2 years, crime in downtown dropped more than 50%. In downtown West, it's down 46%. And in the Central West End, crime is down 43%. You can watch that full interview with Chief Robert Tracy. It's right now inside your First Alert 4 News app. Also tonight, a local woman who played a part in the January 6 Capitol riots is sentenced by a Franklin County judge for a different crime. In 2022, Emerly Hernandez was drunk, driving the wrong way on the interstate when she crashed head-on with another car. That collision killed a mother and injured the woman's husband. Today, a judge sentenced Hernandez to 10 years in prison. Also today in court, family members of the victims gave emotional statements about their loss. They also reflected on the court's decision today.
It wasn't everything we had asked for, but I do think that his sentence does send a message to the community that if you're foolish enough to drink and drive and someone dies as a result, that you can expect a significant prison sentence.
We asked Hernandez's attorney for comment about this case after court. She declined. Tonight, the concern for federal funding remains.
Our John Kipper hearing from Congresswoman Nikki Budzinski as she visits the Metro East, hearing these worries and the funds still at risk.
A direct assault on the separation of branches of government.
Congresswoman Nikki Budzinski in the Metro East Wednesday, not happy about a memo from President Donald Trump's administration affecting people from the Beltway to Belleville.
Now, this day-to-day anxiety of not knowing what the next Trump executive order or memo is going to be.
Monday, a memo from Trump's administration stated federal agencies must temporarily pause all activities related to obligation or disbursement of all federal financial assistance that may be implicated by the executive orders. A federal judge later paused the freeze, and Wednesday, the Trump administration states the memo was rescinded.
Everyone is really uncertain now as to what the future is.
St. Clair County Board Chairman Mark Kern worried low-income housing assistance could be in jeopardy, as well as other federal funds.
It is a significant part of the county budget.
Now, Kern says normally St. Clair County budgets on an annual basis, but due to all this uncertainty, it's more month to month right now, and that includes all the planned work for Frank Scott Parkway.
Where we have road projects that have started, people are concerned. Those contractors are concerned. Will we stop construction on Frank Scott Parkway?
As for Budzinski, she cited free and reduced lunch programs, $41 million of funding for Southern Illinois Edwardsville, and even Medicaid funding as items that could have been at risk.
The sheer panic that President Donald Trump created yesterday when they issued that memo.
She adds the federal government should be evaluating reckless spending, but specifically when they're setting a budget.
Not in hindsight, giving the president power that he does not have legally to review and revise commitments that have been made to communities.
St. Louis University law professor Marsha McCormick tells First Alert 4 only Congress has the power of the purse, but President Trump could be hoping the current Supreme Court changes the interpretation of the law. Reporting in Belleville, John Kipper, First Alert 4.
Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker says there were 2,000 programs in Illinois that would have been impacted by the federal funding freeze.
Well, the wet weather's on the way. You can see it just to our southwest. It's going to be a soggy Thursday. I'll show you the timing on the rain, how much to expect, and when we'll dry things out coming up.
Back to breaking news that we're following out of Washington, D.C. tonight. We know an American Airlines jet crashed midair with a Black Hawk helicopter. Texas U.S. Senator Ted Cruz saying tonight there are multiple fatalities in this.
And right now, American Airlines says there were 60 passengers and 4 crew members on board the American Airlines flight. And the U.S. Army is confirming to CNN 3 crew members were on board the chopper. That was from Fort Belvoir in Virginia.
Yeah, the Federal Aviation Administration has grounded flights at Reagan National Airport where the plane was trying to land. We also know a multi-agency search and rescue effort is underway in the Potomac River. In fact, the Maryland State Police is there. They've deployed divers, that according to Maryland Governor Wes Moore. The FBI saying tonight they are not investigating this right now as a criminal event. This, of course, a developing story. Will continue to bring you breaking updates as we continue to learn them. We'll bring them here to you on air and on your First Alert 4 News app.
And just moments ago, President Donald Trump issuing a statement saying, "I have been fully briefed on the terrible accident which just took place at Reagan National Airport. May God bless their souls. Thank you for the incredible work being done by our first responders. I am monitoring the situation and will provide more details as they arise," end quote.
Well, we'll be dealing with some rain by morning. That's part of the First Alert on what's coming next. Umbrellas are needed. We're talking about a quarter of an inch to, in some spots, an inch or more, but that's going to be south of St. Louis, not in the metro. The heavier rain south, and I'll map out those totals for you. The bulk of this rain comes Thursday. There is a chance for a couple spot showers Friday, but most of our rain will be Thursday. That's the soggy day. The weekend looks pretty mild, especially Sunday, 60s. Even mid-60s by Sunday, so some warmer weather on the way. Today was spectacular with a high of 58. Tomorrow will be cooler, cloudy, and wet because of this rain coming in from the southwest. It arrives with the updated timing now, a few showers by the morning drive. The earlier you commute, the better chance of maybe dodging some of that. The later you commute, I think it could be a little more steady. Right now we're dry as we look at the arch from the Ford Skycam network here. Temperatures drop from that 58-degree high all the way down to 36. That's going to be our new low for the day, and it may go down 1 more degree or so before some warmer air starts coming in and temperatures start to come up towards tomorrow morning along with the rain. That's where the rain's coming from, the south-southwest. That's where a little bit warmer air. There's 50s in Arkansas and southern Missouri. And so as we head towards daybreak, 38 degrees at 7 a.m., chance for a few scattered showers. As we head towards late morning and afternoon, it becomes a little more widespread here. So this is 11 a.m., much more widespread into the afternoon. I do want to point out, though, these are areas to the north and to the northwest. You're not going to get as much. It's more widely scattered there as opposed to widespread and steady like from St. Louis to the south. So this is 3 o'clock. We're going to hit a high of 50 degrees, cloudy and wet during your afternoon. By the evening, I expect a break in St. Louis. Here we are at 48 degrees at 7 p.m. Areas to the southeast, Centerville, Farmington, near and south of Nashville, Illinois, might not have as much of a break, more steady. And some rumbles of thunder are possible in the afternoon to evening as well. Now, as we head towards overnight, this is midnight going into Friday morning, the front's coming through. Just a few scattered showers, and what rain comes through is very brief. So it's not like earlier in the day Thursday. The nighttime rain is a brief shower or thunder shower, and it's gone by daybreak on Friday. So this is the Friday morning commute, mostly cloudy. We're at 45. Not necessarily done yet. See some of this rain back here? This is the tail end of the low pressure system of a little bit of rain that may just clip us, let's say, late morning to midday. This is at noon on Friday. So we may catch a little light shower. Otherwise, the high is 52 and it's cloudy for your Friday. How much rain are we going to get? Well, about a quarter of an inch to 3/4 of an inch across the metro. The higher totals on the south side of the metro. Where you see some of those blues, that's where the better chance is to catch an inch of rain and less to the north and northwest. But a solid rainfall, making things pretty soggy with the melting snow, too. 50 degrees for healing action, our 4-degree guarantee, $1,050 our donation. So Friday's a mainly dry day, just a spot shower, maybe around midday, 52 for the high. And then we get this warming trend over the weekend from 51 Saturday to 65 Sunday. The record is 70 from 2020. That's going to be a lovely day. There is a chance for some rain late next week and a cool down back into the 40s Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
On the outside, looking in, the Blues are certainly in need of a spark. Blues general manager Doug Armstrong made one surprising move today and discussed the state of the team. That's next in sports. And we hope you'll join us this Friday for our Blues Hall of Fame special. Last Friday, 3 new members were inducted: Curtis Joseph, Wayne Babich, and Jim Roberts. Join us Friday at 6:30 as we sit down with Joseph and Babich and the Roberts family to relive the induction ceremony and their contribution to the Blues.
Live, this is Sports on 4, powered by Nissan.
With the Blues slipping further away from a wild card spot, general manager Doug Armstrong is making moves. Yesterday, Brandon Saad waived by the Blues, and today, the two sides agreed to end his contract. The Blues placed Saad on unconditional waivers, making him a free agent. The move a result of the Blues' lack of consistent production. In the month of January, 10 of 13 games are against Western Conference teams. They've lost 7 of 12 so far, including their last 3. Army said this week the team is not capitalizing when they need to most.
This year, coming out of the Christmas break, we looked at our schedule. We saw teams that we felt we needed to get wins against, not just compete, but get wins against. And now we're in January and we're back in the same spot. We had an opportunity to gain ground and we lost ground, and that's doing soul searching for all of us.
City SC wrapped up its preseason trip to Florida with a happy flight home today, getting the 1-0 win in a friendly match over the New York Red Bulls. Cedric Teuscher with the lone goal for City SC. The team is home for the rest of the week before heading to California. A date is set. Illinois men's basketball announced today on Tuesday, February 11th. All-time great Kofi Cockburn will return to the University of Illinois. When Illinois hosts UCLA, a banner will be raised in his honor. Cockburn, one of the greatest centers in Illinois basketball history, was a 2-time consensus All-American and 2-time Big Ten champion. He's in his 3rd season playing professionally overseas.
It's pretty special, you know, and it's a tribute to how hard each of those guys worked and you know, what they have meant to me and my family and what they've meant to the program. I think this is what makes Illinois so special, is you put their name in the rafters.
In last night's win over VCU, SLU got it done without one of their key difference makers. This guy, Kellen Thames, did not play last night, a decision made by him and head coach Josh Schertz as a result of his ongoing medical issue that causes cramping. When asked about it postgame, Coach Schertz gave a heartfelt response about his player.
You know, I've been in St. Louis for 9.5 months, I guess. I'll say this, Kellen Thames, the best person I've met in St. Louis since I've been here in 9.5 months. I love that kid. He's everything that you want your players to be. He's everything you'd want your son to be.
A sweet message from Coach and a great win against VCU. Despite that loss for the Billikens, they'll have another big test against Dayton on Friday, so we're looking forward to seeing how they do in that game.
All right, sounds good, Tamar. Thank you.
Another update on the breaking news we're following out of our nation's capital after the break.
Let's get back to that breaking news we're following out of Washington, D.C. tonight, where we know an American Airlines jet has collided midair with a Black Hawk Army chopper and crashed into the Potomac River. We're taking a live look at that scene. Tonight, the U.S. Coast Guard says it is deploying all resources to these rescue efforts.
And as we have been telling you, Texas U.S. Senator Ted Cruz says there are multiple fatalities in this. American Airlines confirms 60 passengers were on board, along with 4 crew members coming from Wichita, Kansas. The airline has issued a hotline for loved ones on board Flight 5342. And as for the chopper involved in this, a U.S. Army official confirms to CNN 3 crew members were in the chopper coming from Fort Belvoir, which is in Virginia. We want to show you the tweet that Senator Ted Cruz sent out tonight. It says, we don't know how many were lost, but we know that there are fatalities. He also said that he's going to get a briefing from the FAA tomorrow. We know the president has also been briefed. Now the investigation into how this happened and the recovery and rescue efforts continue overnight.
Absolutely, and we're going to continue to follow the breaking developments in this. Be sure to join us tomorrow on First Alert 4 this morning, beginning at 4 o'clock in the morning. They'll have the latest on this. You can also follow along online on your First Alert 4 News app and also on our website.